See if it can go.
Good morning, everybody. It is Angie Atkinson, and
Hey, it's B-Rad Celebrity Stylist here. Good morning, good morning.
good morning. We are here for the Empowered Empath. Brad, I'm always happy to see you. How you doing today?
Yay, doing great this morning. So I'm sure we're in for an exciting show this morning.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And while we're waiting for the chat to pop up, let me just remind you, my name is Angie Atkinson, and on this channel, I offer free daily video coaching to help you discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse in toxic relationships. And today is all about the empath side of things, as always on Tuesday mornings. And so that you guys know, I will be here later today for our usual Talk to Me Tuesday session at 1 p.m. Morning, Tommy. Morning, Nikki. Malta. Good morning, Stan Firm and Joy Mo. Happy to see you guys. And we are going to just jump right into our content. Hey, GSX girl. Hey, girl. Hey. We're going to jump right into it today, you guys. We're going to give you 16 signs that you're in the presence of an empath. So, Brad, do you want to get us started today?
Sure will. So 16 signs you're in the presence of an empath. So number one is we're often told we're too serious or too emotional. Empaths aren't too this or that. What others describe as overfeeling is really just being in touch with emotions, theirs and yours.
Yeah. Yep. And number two, we really dislike being lied to, don't we? It barely takes a glance in your direction, and we know you're lying. The majority of people, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. The majority of people hate being lied to anyway, but it really sucks for an empath. It literally makes our skin feel icky, and we feel this disgust every time we're around someone who lies to us. We just know. What do you think?
Exactly, exactly. And so now number three is negative images directly affect us. So empaths find it nearly impossible to unfeel something. And I know that for myself, like the news,
Mhm.
stories of violence or heartbreak on social media, like we see it all the time on our feeds, on the news, in Facebook, like everywhere. So we avoid them like the plague. We're well aware of the pain in the world, and we do feel it daily.
So true. Yeah. And on the same token, number four, we feel overwhelmed by crowds. Empaths encompass every personality type. We're introverts, extroverts, and ambiverts. Yet, at the same time, even the most outgoing easily become overwhelmed in crowds. I am one of those people. We
Hmm.
absorb, right? We
Yeah, me
absorb.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you go into a crowd and you're an empath, you literally feel everybody's feelings, everybody's energy. And to say the very least, it's exhausting, right?
Exactly. But this one I know. So we also find happiness through healing. So empaths are there to help. We try to guide you towards healing. Just like with all our other advice, it only helps you to implement it in your life.
It's so true. Yeah. And that's why I think personally I have found quite a bit of happiness through healing and through helping you guys with your healing. And I know Brad does a ton of that in his work as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that brings us to number six. We do tend to react differently to stimulants and medications. And I have found that to be true for myself as well. Whether it's coffee or tea or soda or an energy drink, anything containing caffeine might make us feel more anxious and agitated than other people. Or on the flip side of that, what I've found is certain things that are supposed to wake you up sometimes for me do the opposite. But coffee isn't one of those things. Also, we do our best to avoid prescription medication as often as we can because of the numerous and unpleasant side effects that we experience.
Hmm. Which brings us then to number seven. We can't be anybody except us. And I know for me personally, it's all about being true, being authentic, being transparent. So if you're looking for honesty and true friendship, empaths are who you should be searching for. But they'll likely find you first. We have grown into who we are and we embrace who we are becoming. Usually it's others who have an issue with our sensitivity and honest nature. Because I know myself, when I'm being honest, everybody wants the truth, but nobody really wants to hear it.
It's true, isn't it? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Number eight, we know what you were going through because we're going through it with you, whether we like it or not. If you're not feeling well, if you're feeling overwhelming sadness, depression, or if you're agitated, we're going through it with you. We're connected to those people that we care about. And we, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on what day it is, we care about everybody.
Exactly. And which brings us to number nine. We have a special bond with animals. So empaths don't own animals. We don't have pets. We have family members. And I know a lot of people can relate with that because your dog, your cat, your iguana, your parrot, anything, it's not like an animal to you. It's a family member. So looking at animals in the wild, we see a perfect and pure soul, a love incapable of hate. We have conversations with them as you would anyone else. And sometimes we even get a response.
It's true. My cats know their family members. My children even call them their siblings sometimes. Um, yes. And this brings me to number 10. We are sometimes tired, exhausted, or worn out, especially when we're not taking care of ourselves properly. We deal with way more than just the typical personal emotions and mental drains because we're handling everyone else's emotions as well. Now, in my experience, when you learn to sort of put the little bubble up around yourself, you can resist this. But every day we're around other people, we absorb, we process, and we release what those people around us are experiencing. And those are the lucky ones who have figured out how to process so that they can release instead of holding on to everything that until they can't function anymore.
Exactly. So with now number 11, this is an important one too. So if you ask our advice, please take it. We listen to every word you say. We put ourselves in your shoes and we deliver heartfelt advice. It is too much to ask for you to listen to it. The thing is, we know what we're talking about, and you do. In fact, we're telling you the exact same thing that you know you should do. We know it, you know it. So, I mean, in the nicest way possible, either take the advice or stop asking because it wears out our patience. And I know I've had that time and time again where somebody will ask you a question, you tell them the honest, truth of what they should do, but I guess if it's not in alignment with what they want to hear, they just keep asking, keep asking, keep asking. And as an empath, they can also drain you, as well by constantly asking over and over. But just listen to us once, take our advice, and just apply it.
So true. Oh, look, a butterfly. Just kidding. This brings me to number 12. We become distracted pretty easily sometimes. Sometimes shiny objects get me.
That's it. I love
Right.
shiny objects.
I know. I know, me too. But anyway, maybe it's because our heightened sensitivity to everyone around us and everything around us, but empaths tend to lose focus easily and become quite distracted. There is there is a bright side to this. Empaths notice and appreciate all the little things that most people never take the time to notice. And yet, sometimes we don't notice things that other people might notice, in my opinion, like little mundane things that like for example, my mother had flowers planted in on the next to the sidewalk apparently for several years before I noticed them, which was very unusual, but it happened. Anyway, all right, go ahead, Brett.
Yeah, so number 13 brings us to our expert that we have, my co-host here, Angie, and probably a lot of you watching. We genuinely detest narcissism.
Mhm.
So empaths can spot a narcissist a mile away. And that's about as close as you want to get to them. I know I've had my own experience with narcissists. I'm sure you have too. And Angie has her own experience as well.
Yeah, and I'd like to add a little but on that
Mm.
because at the beginning, or a big but, because, because on the flip side of that same thing, narcissists are very good at mirroring us, and when we aren't aware of such a thing, of when we aren't aware of what narcissism is and what narcissists are and how they fool us. Sometimes we're fooled by them, and that doesn't make us less empathic and it doesn't make us less capable. It just makes us unsure. And if you think back to your time with a narcissist, Brad, you might agree with me on this.
Hmm.
Um, you didn't you felt like something was wrong, but you couldn't put your finger on what it was, so you probably carried on until you finally realized what was going on.
And that was exactly it because the lure was so subtle. Because it's
Mhm.
not like the first day I'm in a relationship with a narcissist. It kind
Right.
of went along. They like what you like,
Mhm.
and then you just kind of get a little bit deeper, and then that's when the manipulation starts, right?
Yeah.
So first they shower you with gifts, they love you, and then all of a sudden the switch, And now the person that you thought loved you so much, put you on a pedestal, now is changing and putting you down and doing all kinds of other stuff.
And so by nature, we start to doubt ourselves. We start to think it must be me. And as time goes on, it gets continually worse. Anyway, let's move right along. Number 14, and this is so true. We are hypersensitive to certain sounds, certain pitches, a slight buzz, loud noises can really get to us. This is one of the first things that I noticed about my middle child, who is also an empath. When he was a little tiny baby, this is pretty funny. I hope he doesn't watch this. Uh, because he was breastfeeding, he got his first tooth, and he tried
Ah,
it out on my poor breast, and
oh no.
and he was just 8 months old or something like this, and he bit me, and I screamed out because it shocked me, and he cried, and then I was comforting him because I screamed and he cried, and anyway, but it's not just sounds. It's also that we're sensitive to textures and fabrics and bright lights as well, and you know we also experience polar opposites on that same level, like gentle sounds, soft caresses, delicate tastes. We notice them just as intensely, but in a good way.
Exactly, exactly. So number 15, so this is our last two. So number 15 is we are excellent listeners. So go on, tell us everything about your life, from the seemingly insignificant to the dramatically transformative. I know, like, I want to know everything about people and they're wondering why, how come you want to know about me? I'm just me. But we'll do more than listen. We also will embark on that journey alongside you. We'll experience every high and low found within. On top of that, you never have to worry about any judgment on our part. And I know I'm exactly like that. And we never want to hurt you. We only want to help.
That's right. That's right. And I think that that's one of the things that is the best part of being an empath is the ability to know and understand people on so many levels without needing to judge, with being okay with who we are and who they are. As long, like Eminem says, you know what, if you're nice, I don't care who you are, as long as you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you, same deal. Anyway, this brings us to number 16. Electronics act up around us. It is kind of true. I know it sounds strange to those who haven't experienced this, but it does happen. Sometimes we're shocked by touching the same things that people normally touch, or electronic equipment acts weird around us. Computers will glitch, cars will stall, phones will die. If it has a current or a charge, it might affect us or be affected by us. Now, I've seen this with light bulbs burning out quickly, then when they weren't supposed to, or popping even. I've seen all kinds of interesting little things like that. Those 10-year light bulbs, they don't last 10 years around me. Right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Anyway, anyway, all right. Let's see what the audio, what the tribe has to say about all this. Let's see. We have Colleen. Hey, Colleen. Hey, Latanya.
Hey, Colleen.
Yes, indeed. And Latanya's here. And Rose Hargrove. Good morning, Rose Hargrove. Real Life 828 says Wapaka, Angie. I thought I probably pronounced that wrong, but hey, how you doing? Welcome. Let's see here. And Colleen says hello to us. Cindy Minton is in the house. Hello, Cindy. Malta, our wonderful admin moderator person. We love you, Malta. Um, Bonnie is here. Sally Cokes is here. Julie K. Lilly. She said, "Good morning, Angie," and B Rad. She spelled it Beerad. I like that. I like that.
Love it, love it,
Love,
love
love,
it.
love it.
Mwah.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Tommy D says, "Be rad. What up, baby boy?"
Hey, Tommy D. Hey.
Love Tommy D. GSX girl says, "I'll be back to talk to you later. Angie's still going through Dark Madness." Okay, girl, I'll be here. Mora De Lucas says, "Good morning." Good morning, Mora. And Angie L says, "Good morning. Everything is well." Yes, Angie L. All right, we're going to see here. Dolores Lundberg is here. She says, "Great topic today." Thank you, Dolores. VG333 in the house. Hello. And my lady line, Bonnie. Bonnie says, "Too sensitive." Yes, that's what he meant.
Too
Yes.
sensitive, yes.
Yes. Cheryl Lawson says, "Hi, Angie." Hello, Cheryl. Sasha Bittner says, "Hello, empaths. Let's get our feelings on." Yes, indeed. Yes, Cheryl, Sarah Child says, "We are human lie detectors." Ain't we though? Yes. Venusian A says, "Yep." And GSX Girl says, yes, I've been told I'm too caring and emotional. I hate it when I even see a stranger going through something like a death. Yeah, I feel you, honey. Brad, thoughts?
Yeah, exactly. And for me growing up, and that's what I found too. I found that a lot when people are talking to me, like you say, air quotes, too sensitive to that. And I mean, I even read books on highly sensitive people,
Mhm.
just trying to figuring out what's going on and that sort of thing too. But you feel everybody going on around you, what's happening to them. You feel their pain, you feel their emotions. All you want to do is help. And I mean, sometimes you can't, but we do. We just take on everybody's stuff.
It's true. Yeah, totally true. Yep. We have Shelly and John in the house. Steve Wright says you should boycott all media. Well, sometimes I do believe that. More DeLuca says check, check, check. Latanya Davis says we also attract animals. That's the truth. Um, Joy Mo says, ugh, crowds. I'm with you there. I'm with you.
Exactly. I can't stand the malls. I can't stand, and same the thing with the animals. Even I go to people's places and they say, my animal hates everyone. I'm the person they go to. The animal loves me. It gets in my lap. It wants to,
Isn't that
they're
a,
like, I don't know. It's never done it to anyone else before. So
I
it's
know what
just
you're talking
something that you're gifted with. Yes.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Dina Ruiz can relate. And GSX Girl says, I totally don't even watch the news because it makes me sad and scared of what the world is becoming. Ditto sometimes. Yeah,
Exactly. Same here. Yep.
yeah, yeah. Steve Wright says, INTJ. Yep, I feel you. Sandra Robinson is in the house. Shelly and John says, now tune in. Tommy D says, ooh, I cannot stand it. I couldn't even be in my ex-narcissist's presence when she'd be spinning her tales. The lying gave him the heebie-jeebies, he said. And Sarah Child says, don't watch the news and crowds are so exhausting. Yep, we're with you. Venusian A says crowds are the worst. Joy Mo says sometimes physical illness. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Shelly and John is very interested in this topic. And GSX Girl says, Angie, you can't tell people that you feel others' emotions in the room or people will call you crazy. Yeah, that's the truth. Ain't it?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. I'm there.
that's yeah, totally true. Yeah. Yeah. Steve Wright says more. This is awesome. Shelly and John says, hi, Angie. Hey, Shell. Angie L says, yes, this is what I deal with when I go out when the stores are busy. Oh, me too. It's true. I can feel the negative vibes and I just walk out. Yeah, I do my shopping early in the morning, she says. True that. And I really, really detest crowds. I refuse to do Black Friday for this very reason. I did it once or twice and I will never, ever, ever do it again. It was years ago. Never again. What about you?
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it now. I usually get it even from the parking lot, especially
Yeah.
holiday time because it's coming up. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? And just if you have to go to the malls, I'm lucky because with me, what I do, because I am a hairstylist, my family and friends, they get free hair all year round. And then at
Nice.
holiday time, they get shampoo, they get conditioner, they get the stuff they need. So instead of me being forced to buy stuff at holiday time, I just give all year round.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
good. I shop online.
Me
Uh,
too.
yes.
Yeah, I've never shopped online before, and now I have Amazon Prime,
Oh, me
and
too.
boom, you order it, you get it, it's done. Yeah.
Bada bing, bada boom. Yes. I even recently learned I can grocery shop online. They bring it right to my house within an hour. It's the
Then
best
you
thing
would never
ever.
leave.
I hardly ever have to, but I do sometimes anyway. The kids, they need me to go out in the world, you
Yes.
know. Anyway, Bonnie says we need to heal ourselves too. That's the truth. Yes, indeed. Yes. And K2 is here and says, very true to GSX girl. Latanya Davis says, and I know that's why my anger is turning into remorse and sorrow for my ex-husband. Yes, don't fall for it though.
Mhm.
You can feel sorry for him if you want to, but do it from afar. It's not worth your stress and trouble, honestly. Latanya. Hey, Arlene Robertson, how you doing, honey? Um, Sasha Bittner says, I know I can't watch certain politicians on TV because they make me physically sick. I keep up with the news online. Same. Yeah. How about you? Do you struggle with any
Yeah.
politicians? We don't need to talk about specifics, but
No, no. Well, because obviously for me, it's a little bit different. You're in the US, I'm in Canada.
Truth.
So we don't have a president, we have a prime minister. So,
True, true.
so our
Yeah,
politics are a little bit different, but I do the same. I'm very conscious of what goes into my mind. So it's what I listen to, who I talk to, what I watch on television. And I mean most of the news is all sensationalized anyway. So
yeah,
for me, I really govern what goes in because I think that affects me personally the more I tend to watch it. If you're going to watch news 2, 3 times a day and absorb all that stuff in, it's going to become part of you.
truth. Yeah, yeah. GSX girl says, "Preach! I feel at home with you guys. That's because you're one of us, sister." All right, let's see. Malta says, "Hee hee hee! I love my coffee. Me too. I can't live without that, Malta." Today I'm using this rum chata cup that my
Ooh.
somebody gave my husband for his birthday. It came with a bottle of rum chata, which is now I'm sure gone. But when he got it, he was like, "Well, I guess you have a new coffee cup now." I was like, "Yes, please."
Awesome. The big cup, the
This
big
one's
cup.
big, big as my head
Yes.
almost. Right. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Oh, K-Tao says matcha tea rocks. I have not tried that. Have you tried that?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah?
Matcha tea, yeah, because I'm not a coffee drinker, but I do love. I know. That's why we're on opposite sides of the screen. No, I
Opposites
love the
attract.
smell of coffee. I love when it's freshly brewed. I
Mhm.
love that scent. But for me, I have to put so much stuff in it that it's more like a coffee crisp candy
Oh,
bar than it's
sure.
actual coffee. Unless on the only other way I do it is because I direct a lot of theater. So when we're down to tech day, I'll actually just drink espresso or coffee straight with nothing in it. But I'm so buzzed because I'm not used to having a lot of caffeine, even though matcha, I mean, and tea actually has more caffeine than coffee does.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
for sure. Yeah. And I haven't tried matcha tea, but I like I like sleepy time tea. That's
Yeah,
my
love
favorite.
that too.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Freedom Lee. Hey, Freedom Lee says morning, Angie and B Red.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. And she says, "Your information is so right on. Thank you so much. I'm not alone." That's right. You're not alone. That's right. Yeah. And Tommy D says, "Sarah, I don't want to watch the news anymore either. I keep it online and limited. I don't like having that negativity shoved down my throat." It
Mhm.
is, yeah, I can find myself becoming very anxious if I'm not careful because of the news and things of that nature. How about you, Brad?
Exactly. We always have a choice, and that's the thing. It's about boundaries, choice, and you don't have to accept what's out there. Just because it's out there doesn't mean you have to take it on.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Bonnie says, "I can feel vibes from different people, even a house or a room of the house." Truth. When I bought this house that I live in right now, when we walked in the door, the first thing I said to my husband was, "I feel like this house has a lot of love in it." And it so far is true. So,
Awesome. And
yeah.
here's a tidbit. Actually, if you're in love, your hair grows faster.
Is that right?
It is, yes.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Steve Wright says we're freaks though. Yeah, but we're good kind. We're the good kind of freak. Come on, Steve. All right.
Exactly,
He's
exactly.
freaking. He said we, not us, but he is.
We're
Yes.
all we're all we're
We're
all
all a
in it
bunch of freaks.
together.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, Lord. Stan Firm says, "So true." Let's see here. Steve Wright says he eats
Yeah.
oatmeal. Okay, well, whatever makes you happy, man.
It works. Great
Uh,
source of fiber. It's
yeah,
awesome.
good for you. All right, let's see here. Everybody, Sarah Child says she gets physically ill as well regarding the news.
Mhm.
Malta says, "Good morning to Sue Connor." Good morning, Sue Connor. And let's see here. Dolores says her brother was evacuated in the Cali fire. It was so stressful. He's okay. Well, I'm so glad to hear that he's okay. And I bet that was really hard on both of you, Dolores. I'm so sorry to hear it, but very glad he's okay. Bonnie says, "Yes, others have the problem with empaths telling the truth and cutting through the BS all around us, don't they?" I have gotten to this point where I will tell the truth once. And if somebody doesn't hear me, I will not speak to them about it again. I'll just say,
Mhm.
okay, and I'll let them go because people don't want now if they want to understand me and they try to understand me, that's different. But if someone doesn't bother to think outside of their small box, then okay, I'm not going to
Mhm.
kill myself trying to help people anymore. I mean, I help people who want to be helped, not people who don't.
No,
So,
exactly. And if you keep telling them over and over, you're just going to drain yourself and your own energy. So
mhm.
basically, too, and same for me, when I see someone, I actually don't see the surface. I actually see past all
Yeah,
their masks. You know
Same.
what I mean? And I take them, I accept them how they are, very loving. I'm very, you know what I mean? Oh, you were going to say something, Angie?
I'm with you. Actually, I was
Hmm.
just going to say I've never actually verbalized it before, but I've felt the same way. There have been people in my life who I have noticed other people find attractive, and sometimes I don't find them attractive at all.
Hmm.
And I don't know why, because like on a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like on a basic level, like if I were to look
Hmm.
at them and not hear them talk and not know them in person, maybe I might find them attractive,
Hmm.
but like within minutes of meeting them, I have this different impression. And it's sometimes even before I speak to them that I see something in them and I find I'm confused. Why do people find this person attractive? Because I can't see their physical beauty anymore because I see what's really going on. You know what I'm talking
Exactly,
about?
exactly, and
Yeah,
that's how I see it. That's how I see it.
yeah,
And then people all the time they don't understand why
yeah,
you can see it because you get away. And I find sometimes too that helps me more because when physical appearance isn't an issue, you're not distracted, and you
true.
can actually just see what's inside. You can see the energy of the person, the soul of the person, and then you can relate accordingly. You know,
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. And when it comes to the long term on that, like if you're talking about, you know, physical beauty is fleeting, no matter what we try to do, we can slow down our aging process, but it is what it is eventually.
Hmm.
And so if what you're looking for is physical beauty, that's temporary. So if you're looking for a long-term thing, you want to look for, look beyond that surface, in my opinion. Okay. Moving right along. I know that,
Yes.
but not to say that you can't make the best of what you have. Don't get me wrong.
No, there's tons of odd couples you would never imagine to see together. You know
True.
what I mean? And that's what it is. I think that's the beauty of it is because these people have found each other regardless of, I'm this, so you have to be this as well, and that's,
Right. Right.
sort of thing too. Yeah.
Right. I think sometimes the most attractive people are the people who aren't even aware of how attractive they are, you know. And I don't mean physically necessarily either. Sometimes I find people physically beautiful when, statistically speaking, others might not, just because they are
Hmm.
beautiful in other ways. Anyway, like for example, I really like smart people. I like
Hmm.
if you have a high IQ, to me, your attractiveness
Ah,
points are through the
so
roof.
you're a sapiosexual.
You know it's true. You know it. I can't help it. All right, let's see here. But I love that, I love people with happy personalities in general. I don't
Yes.
care if they're smart or not, but if I'm gonna like pick one to be with, that's
Take a smart one.
it's important to me. Yeah. I need to be able to have a good convo. Um, yeah. GSX girl says she loves
Yeah.
animals as well. She's always had her dog has always been her third child. I'm with you on that.
Mhm.
My cats are fourth, fifth, and sixth children
Yeah.
for me. Um, yes. Steve Wright says dogs know best. Dogs are very intuitive for sure. I've seen the same with cats, but cats, a lot of people don't like cats for some reason.
Because they
Um,
plot.
yes.
Dogs will get over stuff. Cats
Yes.
will wait and
That's
they'll
true.
do stuff when you're away or when you get home or you wake up and they're in your face.
It's
You know what I
true.
mean? But the same with
Yes.
dogs because you could have somebody come to your door and you think that's the nicest person, and the dog will be barking like crazy
Hmm.
because they can see past all that stuff. I think us as humans, we get caught up in all the garbage that goes on, we're
It's true.
bombarded with, but with animals, they don't have that same, you know, things
Yeah.
that we have to deal with, so they see right through. Same with young children as well.
Yes. Yes. And I'll tell you something that I find interesting about that is that humans, even empaths, can be fooled by a pretty face. And what I mean is, if you put two photos up of two people, and one of them was not, poorly dressed, not physically attractive, you know, angry looking, unhappy looking, and you put a photo up of a well dressed, physically attractive, according to society's rules, person,
Hmm.
and you ask which one of these is the thief, 99% of the people are going to go that one, the bad one, right? Or the one that
Hmm.
looks like the bad one. And in reality, that one might be like a missionary in Africa
Hmm.
or something. And you just, and the other one's the thief. See, the thing is that even some of the most trained eyes can easily be thrown off by a pretty face.
Hmm.
And I bet these people here know this better than anyone else because we've all been thrown here and there by a pretty face, have we not? There's a scientific basis for it.
Hmm.
In fact, um, there's, like on an evolutionary level, we are programmed to look for people with symmetrical faces, and certain other qualities that cause us to think they might be good mates, which sounds really weird. But especially for those
Hmm.
who I don't know, and I don't know if the same would hold. I have never done the research to find out if the same holds true for the gay and lesbian community, but I know in general, on an evolutionary level, we have this issue where we look for a certain type of physical attractiveness, and also we look for someone who is similarly attractive to our, like
Hmm.
on a similar level to ourselves. So I but again, that throws us sometimes, and part of the
Hmm.
reason that we might have ended up with our narcissists in some cases is because we found them physically attractive, and we weren't able, because of that and the love bombing, we weren't able to see past the BS, in the beginning. Anyway, or we
Hmm.
felt something off, but we didn't, Okay.
Exactly. And I think that's the same cliche, like love is blind. And that's what happens. You're so caught up in everything. Here's somebody, you're like, I want somebody, I want somebody, I want somebody. Finally, you meet somebody and you're thinking, this person's perfect. We're going to have the greatest life together. We're going to have a family, stability. You're going to have all that. So a lot of times you'll just dive in and surpass any little signals just so you can have that relationship with them. And you don't find out until later what's really going on.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Um, and then let's see here. Hope says, hello, Hope. She says, that was a great video from Angie this morning. Those words you spoke are so true. I think she means one I posted last night. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Malta says to Dolores that thanks for sharing that. He's pleased to hear it. Wait, did I miss Dolores? Oh, yeah, about the brother being okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Latanya Davis says, pets seem to find her. And she says her children her and her children, stray cats are always around, and she believes the same birds come to her yards. I believe that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's common. I see a similar deal over here. Kay Tao says, thanks, you two. I am 35 and I'm finally brave enough to be myself. And yes, I have three animals sitting and eating with me right now. I'm with you.
Yay.
I'm with you. Yeah. And I'll tell you something. I was 35 when I think I really started to recognize who I am and what I'm all about. I mean, I
Mhm.
understood I was an empath before that, but I didn't understand a lot of other things.
No.
So, yeah.
And exactly. And I think we're so conditioned to what people want us to be that
Hmm.
we're always fighting that. We know who we are really inside, but then when we're like, your parents expect you to be a certain way, your friends want you to be a certain way, your boss wants you to be a certain way. And when you're trying to build all those worlds or merge all those worlds, it's sometimes very difficult. And then you get this inner conflict. But just to be who you are, I think is the most freeing thing and the biggest accomplishment you can ever do for yourself and the greatest gift you could ever give yourself.
Yeah, totally, totally. Absolutely agree. Yeah. Um, Shelly and John says, blessings, Tommy. Sasha Bender. Okay. GSX Girl says she's 31 and feels like she's learning who she really is. And it's amazing.
Mhm.
Thank you, Angie and Brad, for introducing her to embracing that she's an empath.
Hmm. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all part of deprogramming, all the stuff we've been taught from a very young age. Soon as you start school, you're told this is how boys are supposed to be. This is how
Mhm.
girls are supposed to be. You can do this, you can't do that. Guys can't be sensitive and emotional and embrace. Girls have to be a certain way. And that's not true. We're all different, we're all unique. So, yeah, just be true to yourself and just go from there.
Yep, totally. Yeah. Nicole Maza says non-human animals are greater than humans. Well, that's what my children both think. Actually, my two youngest both think the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Shannon O'Brien says, hello, empaths. Hey, girl. Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Oh, stand firm. This is great. The way she says this, she says, it is hard
Yeah.
being a sponge, ain't it, though? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely. GSX Girl says, I struggle with the release and process. Any advice? Well, one thing for me was important, and I'm going to let Brad speak up on this
Mm-hmm.
too. For me, it was really important for me to begin to recognize which emotions were my own and which were not, which feelings were my own and which were not. And I literally, as I'm going out in the world, sometimes, especially when I'm going to have to be in a crowd or something like that, I imagine a little ball of white light coming from about here. Sometimes we're in the core area and kind of surrounding me like an egg. And then I
Mm-hmm.
sort of walk around with my bubble, like I call it. And it helps to sort of deflect some of the negativity in some way. And then also, again, to be very aware of your own emotions and to understand which are yours and which aren't. What about you,
Mhm.
Brad?
Yeah,
For
and that's exactly the same thing. It's knowing because when you're bringing on so much stuff, we have enough to deal with in daily life. Now, for me, I have nothing to deal with. People are like, "Why are you so calm? Why do you have nothing going on?" It's because I don't. I think things in life. they're the way they are because you give meaning to them. This is a good thing. This is a bad thing. But same
Hmm.
sort of thing, having protection from a white light. Obviously, your heart is here, but generally in the sternum is where you carry fear.
Yeah.
So when it comes out of there, so you're blasting that out, you're getting rid of that fear with your electromagnetic heart field,
Hmm.
which is much greater than your mind field. And then if you can utilize that and put that energy out there, it kind of gives you a presence rather than some people try to protect themselves by encasing themselves in, but I think that locks you in. But I think if you push out from within, that kind of is a much better thing. So stuff is flowing through you rather than imprisoning you. But
Yeah.
same sort of thing. I mean, it was like, why am I feeling this way? It can't be like journaling is a really good thing. So when a lot of this stuff happens, if you write it down, you'll start to notice there's a certain pattern. When you're around someone or in a certain situation, you'll start to notice, okay, why am I feeling this? Why do I feel sad? Why do I feel this? And I shouldn't be. And that was the biggest thing. So I learned to say, and discernment, I think, is the biggest thing as an empath, what
Mhm.
really is yours and what really isn't. But I think that's knowing also your core as well. So if you know who you are, is that resonating with who you are? If it is, it's probably yours. If it's not, just let it go.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's I think why it's so, and see, here's the thing. When we deal with narcissists, let me just throw this back in really quick. When we have dealt with narcissists, they tend to make us doubt our own emotions, doubt ourselves. So we find ourselves very often not aware of our own emotions, and that's when we spin out, right? And so when you do take the time to be mindful and know, okay, I'm feeling happy because I'm talking to B-Rad right now, or whatever, right? I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Go ahead.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, totally. Well, so I think that's helpful
Mhm.
to recognize your, like Brad said, to recognize, oh, sorry, to recognize yourself and what you're really feeling and thinking, and to move on. And it's easier to release other emotions that way. And sometimes I think we feel those emotions of other people and those physical feelings because we need to try to help them. But
Mhm.
again, when we've dealt with crazy toxic people, that doesn't work as well. And so it's a hard thing to get through, but you can and you will
Mhm.
if you choose to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. Sue Cronert says, I guess that's why I brought home the stray dog or cat. Yep. Seems like it. Yeah. Steve Wright says, be a spong instead. I think he means instead of a sponge. I don't know. Um, um, Bonnie says, I'm very vested in my domestic animals, was even thinking of joining a rescue group for cats or dogs. That's a great idea, Bonnie. That would be really good for your soul, right?
Perfect. Yeah. Any kind of groups you can interact with other people that you're helping. I think for us normally as empaths, anytime you can help or give back or pay it forward, it's going to help you, I mean, your soul to sing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, let's see here. Colleen says that her kids call her dog their brother. Yeah, see, my kids, they call up our cats their siblings. So yeah. Um, Shelly Ann John agrees with Steve's spawn comment. Um,
Yeah.
Try and Stop Me Mate is here. Hey, hey, how you doing? Says taking care of pets is perfect for empaths. Animals give unconditional love. I feel
Mhm.
energized after playing with mine. Yeah, and there are studies that have been done that
Mhm.
prove that even just having a pet and loving a pet is really good for even your physical body, not to mention your mental
Yeah,
stability.
exactly. And petting the cats and hearing that purring and I guess getting that energy. And for a lot of people, they actually use it as therapy. I know I have a friend and a couple of friends, they do that. They actually have a little tiny dog in their salon, and
Mhm.
that dog will come up, sit on their lap, so the client can pet them, be calm, things like that. So with Angie, with having your pets as a family member, do you also celebrate their birthdays? Do you
Yeah, and
have
we do, and we buy them Christmas presents too, Hanukkah presents, all the things. We do all that. Yeah,
Yeah, and I know a lot of people they have full lines for animals now. They have
yeah,
clothes, they have scents, they have, like products and all that kind of stuff for your animals like they were adults and people. And sometimes, yeah, sometimes they're the best person or well, sometimes they're the best to talk to because they're there. They'll always listen. They're by you. They don't leave. They don't get bored. They're there for you. They're excited when you get home.
yeah.
sometimes they're better in some ways than having a significant other, but not
Yes.
saying that that's a good or bad thing.
Very well, it depends on sometimes it's better. Yeah, sometimes it's better. um, Dolores says it's going to be a long recovery for California. If you're so inclined, donations to Fish, Friends in Sonoma helping everybody. Sasha Bittner says, so true about the advice one. um, Latanya Davis says, and be prepared for truth. If you ask me, people used to call me Ms. Know It All. Me too.
Oh,
My
yeah.
my high school boyfriend Latanya used to. I don't know if you guys. I'm going to date myself right now, but in high school, my high school boyfriend would sing that song to me, "Little Miss Can't Be Wrong," because I couldn't be wrong,
Uh,
but I could be. You know what I'm saying? But I just knew a lot of things.
mhm.
Not as nearly as much as I thought I knew, though. I'll tell you that right now. Um, she says the narcissist finds us as the best supply for those reasons, and you're absolutely right on that one.
Mhm.
Yeah. GSX Girl says, yeah, that happened to me. I'm very honest. People hate it. OMG.
Yeah.
Hate the truth. They would
Uh-huh.
rather be flattered by a liar. It sucks because I just want to help. Yeah, that's the truth. And it's that for that very reason that I'll tell you once. And then if you act like I've told you something wrong or you don't want to hear what I'm saying, I won't keep talking.
No,
Okay.
exactly, because they don't want the illusion shattered, and
Right.
because you're somebody who knows the truth. As
Mhm.
soon as you get close and you start bringing too much truth to them, and being able to expose them, then that's when things will turn to. But nobody, yeah, everybody wants the truth, but nobody wants their illusion shattered.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Tommy D says animals are great for supply for narcs because they give unconditional love without requiring intimacy in return. Just need fed. Yeah, ain't that the truth? A lot of narcissists do have animals and they do enjoy them. Um,
Hmm.
but some, like my ex-husband was a horrible pet owner, so I had to not have pets for a while with him
Hmm.
because and I still feel a little bit nervous about having a dog because of him, and that's been many years ago. So anyway, David H says, good morning. Good morning, David H. How you doing?
Hey, good morning.
And Hope Bradford says, I must say,
Yeah.
Angie, your guest speaker is so right on. Hey, B Rad.
Hey, I'm here every week, every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday. Yes, yes, indeed. Every Tuesday for the Empowered Empath show. That's right. She says, he is so right on. If you ask for advice, don't second guess yourself and advice you're given. We still want to believe that a cluster B has a soul, but they don't. And you know what? I think there's something to that, my friend. Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. Bonnie says advice is easier said than done, hard to put into practice sometimes when your worldview is different. It's like speaking a new language. Oh, girl, I know. I know. Kay Tao says we notice the little things. Yes, don't we though? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The little things. I notice things that are so weird about people. Like I can look at a person. I don't even need to look in their eyes. I can look right
Hmm.
at their mouth and I can tell if they're telling the truth the way they hold their mouth.
Uh-huh.
Anyway,
Yeah.
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 Let's see here. Bonnie says, or going to a new country. Yeah, exactly. Speaking a new language or going to a new
Hmm.
country. Let's see. Steve Wright says he didn't spot his narcissist. Yeah, you can't always spot your narcissist right away. And we talked about that. We don't need to. Okay. David H says, agree with number 13. Red flags are everywhere. Yeah. Tommy D says, yes, be rad. Heightened awareness. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Steve Wright says, less
Yeah.
enabled. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bonnie says, going way less meat in diet, probably healthier too. Okay.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, for me personally, it does work because I find the less meat that I consume, the higher my energy and vibration is.
Hmm. That's
Because
good. Yeah.
because actually you take on the animal
Hmm.
when you consume it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Muffy Lewandowski says hello and blessed day and good day to Malta and Angie
Mhm.
and the tribe and be rad.
Yeah. Hey.
And and GSX girl says, yes, I was unaware of the mirroring. I just knew in my gut something wasn't right. Yeah. Same thing happened to me. When I remember standing there getting ready to marry my ex
Hmm.
and like literally inside my head, I was screaming, "Get run!" But like I was forcing myself to stand there because I thought I was supposed to or whatever, and it was a terrible thing. I can't regret it because it's in the past, and my oldest son came out of that deal. But it was really, I
Hmm.
was very aware that something wasn't right, and yet I did it anyway. Probably because I was 21 and stupid. But not
Hmm.
that I'm saying every 21-year-old is stupid. I'm just saying when I was 21, I was stupid in that respect. I was not, and it wasn't that I was stupid. It was that I think desperately seeking something, some kind of a connection to someone.
Hmm.
And that's the one that I accidentally got with. So Joy Mo says fooled by a narcissist. Exactly. Mavis
Mhm.
Washington says good morning, Angie, and everyone. Hey girl, hey, how you doing?
Mhm.
Latanya Davis says not the psycho narc. They are sly and conniving, but your caring heart feels like you can help. Right.
Mhm.
That's true. And that's the worst part of it. And that's why they are drawn to us, I think, in general. All right, let's see here. Tommy D says narcs throw up many red flags though. You have to pay close attention. Yeah. But again, I was quite young when I married mine. My narcissist. So, but the thing is that a lot of us have a narcissistic parent, and that's
Mhm.
why we don't always aren't always aware of the signs. And what'll happen a lot of times is you'll have a narcissistic parent who's either covert or overt, and then you end up meeting someone who appears to be the opposite of that person, and you think, okay, this is going to be okay, but in reality, they're the same. They're just the opposite. They're covert versus overt, or vice versa. So, yeah. GSX Girl says, once I joined this chat, I learned so much. It all made sense. Thank you, Angie. They are very predictable now knowing what they are. Yeah, for sure. Um, Julie K. Lilly says, my instincts scream trouble at first sight, but his beauty and confidence sucked me in. Yeah, yeah. Faith C is here. She says, hi, everyone. I always seem drained and unable to bubble up. My narcissist mirrors me all the time. My health. I'm losing my health due to it. Yeah, that's why you have to come up with an exit plan, Faith.
Mhm.
Um, because it does. It tears you, it destroys your soul, it crushes you. It does. Yeah. GSX Girl says, yes, at the Monster Truck Show, we must have earplugs. Oh, indeed. I do not go to the Monster Truck Show. Oh, my God. That would be horrible. That would be,
Unless you love monster trucks, yeah.
right. In which case, by all means. But for me, like, I would not go into a crowd so I could watch trucks drive around and hit each other. I would not.
Well,
But
it's actually pretty
no
cool.
disrespect. Yeah. Right, right. I get
Yeah,
it. And I think that's
yeah.
totally cool. Like, I'm not anti that. I'm just not, I'm just anti
It's just
me
not
being
your thing. It
involved in
doesn't
that.
resonate with you, which is perfect.
Exactly.
And you
Right,
create your boundaries. This is not for me, so I choose
right,
not to go. Yeah.
right. Absolutely. So don't
Yeah.
think I'm judging anybody if y'all are into that stuff, because whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys aren't into whatever weird things I'm into. I don't know. Anyway,
Helping people. Yeah.
stuff like that. Well, I'm sure they're into that, but I work a lot. That's all I'm saying.
Yes. Yeah.
um, all right, let's see here.
Mhm.
Tommy D says,
Yeah.
very predictable. Yes, GSX
Yeah.
girl. Yeah. K Tao says, yes. And now all the narc
Yeah.
knows about me and uses it as ammo. That's another thing. They do. And so that's why now, as you're dating people, as you move forward, you probably want to, um, you probably want to not share
Mhm.
your personal information right away. Yeah. Let's see. Mirroring, yes, says Bonnie. That's a narc when they suck you into their world, or when they pretend like they're exactly who you want them to be. She
Mhm.
says, especially if you were groomed to be narc bait from your parents, right? Let's see here. All right. Um, GSX girl says, hey, Malta. Okay. Bonnie says, Kato, absolutely. Narcs use all info against you eventually. Nikki Paget says, true. And I still didn't know what it was until I got out of the relationship. He claims not seeing things, and I can't. He claims I was not seeing things that I saw him doing. I swear it was like we were in two
Mhm.
different relationships. Sure. Latanya Davis says, or there is hope lingering, but that's false hope and no truth, just power sucking. Loud noises don't bother me, but my ears do decipher different sounds. Yeah. It's kind of interesting. I actually I have started to lose hearing in one of my ears because when I was 21, I had a horrible ear infection and no health insurance.
Oh.
Um, and so, but what's funny is that loud noises make me feel completely isolated. Like if I'm at a party and the music is too loud, I feel like I'm in a tube of silence because even though I can hear it, I can't hear anything else, like background
Wow.
noise and stuff. I mean, that's probably irrelevant to this conversation, but anyway, yeah. Thank you, Malta, for doing that, for handling all that. Tommy D says about mirroring body, mine would use phrases of mine that I had used in a previous argument that didn't even make any sense to the
Mhm.
issue at hand. Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. I
Yeah.
experienced that as well. Yeah, and they would say, or they would say the same complaints. I would, if your complaint was, um, you don't listen to me when I talk, they would say that exact same phrase back to you in the argument. You don't listen to me when I talk. Well, I just told you that yesterday. How could you, anyway. Um,
Exactly. And the mirroring is once you're aware it's happening, then
yeah,
that's a sign for you because usually people that like each other naturally will naturally mirror each other. But
yeah,
it's when people do it on purpose, and the same when you get the phrases, when you see the stuff happening, because they want to draw you in closer. So of course, then you're like, wow, they're just like me. But I think you need obviously some differences. But somebody who only mirrors back all your stuff, all your thoughts, all your comments, all your likes, how much are you going to really have in common? You need somebody to be their own person because you are your own person.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Joy Mo says growing up in the inner city as a child was like being a battleborn every day. It was challenging, but helped me in many situations. You wouldn't think there would be a lot of animals, but they'd find me. Of course, I can
Mhm.
imagine they would. Yeah. Bonnie says, I always wanted to go to a monster truck show. She says, but she'll be high up in the stands.
Yeah.
Charlene said, I married the narc 9 days. And after, wait, I married the narcissist after 9 days. I was left with a broken heart and more. Oh, sweetie, I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Um, GSX Girl says a lot of the crowds are rednecks.
yeah.
Talking about those shows again.
Yeah.
Like me, sound like country people are not the bad ones. Look, I don't think country people are bad, and I don't think that people who go to those shows are bad. I just personally I can't. The idea, like I joke to my husband
Mhm.
about NASCAR. He doesn't watch NASCAR, but sometimes he threatens me that he might because he's a hockey person and like that kind of stuff. But I always tell him, I don't know why people would sit there and watch cars drive around in circles.
Mhm.
but but again, that's because that's just not something I'm into. It's not that I have any
Mhm.
judgment for anyone who does. I just don't. I think I don't understand why people like it. That doesn't mean I don't.
Mhm.
The people are cool. I just don't personally like it. Again, I think it's because I consider my time like really I'm really careful about what I choose to spend time on. And so everybody
Mhm.
has different priorities and different things they want to do. And I don't watch sports either, because I'm a nerd and I'd rather be doing research or something else creative,
Mhm.
I don't know. Anyway, I don't want anybody to hate me for saying all that. I'm just saying everybody's different. I don't think it's about the type of people that attend it at all. I think
No.
it's just a personal
No,
choice.
and I think it's great as a person to know where you want to devote your time to. We all have 24 hours in a day, but where do you want that? What's going to most benefit you? And the reason why you do it. She may go to Monster Truck, even though she doesn't like it, for her husband, and then he may
Sure.
go to the ballet or do something for you,
Right.
just as a compromise to show you love each other and that sort of stuff. I know for
Exactly.
me, I love being in nature. So as much as I can be in nature, but for me, being in nature is how I clear my mind. It's how I get rid of energy. But I know when I come back from that, I'm more solid, more focused, and then I can put my energy into a lot of the projects that I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's exactly it's what works for you. As to say, it's knowing yourself, knowing your core, and it's
Right.
our life to live. So
Yeah.
let's choose what is going to give us our highest excitement, our highest bliss.
Absolutely. And being totally okay with loving monster trucks if that's what you love. And
Hmm.
being totally okay with not loving them. That's my thing. I've gotten to this point in my life of radical self-acceptance. So I don't even think about the fact that like it doesn't bother me at all. And like,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm just totally fine with whoever I am. And that's what a God said. What a God said. Anyway, um all right. I think we're going to wrap up, guys, because I think we're actually just about to the end of our time. Oh, everybody's got lots of things. Brad, you should come in to the chat after we go off and say hi to people because a few people, there's even more comments coming if you have time.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, guys, I want to say thank you so much for being here. Brad, be rad.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
always, I love to see you on Tuesdays.
Me too.
And any final words for our friends today?
Like as always, I love you guys. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for making this show a success. Thank you so much for engaging the show that Angie and I are offering on Empaths, that everybody's into it, everybody's commenting, everybody's joining. Just spread the word. I'll see you all next week. Some I'll see you later today. Love you all, and we'll see you Tuesday.
Yes, indeed. And as always, thank you for being a part of my day and a part of my life. Thanks for letting me be a part of yours. And I will be back at 1 p.m. Central Time today for our usual support session. So I'll see you guys then. Be red. Loves ya.
Yeah.
And, uh, and I'll see you guys later. Hugs and love.
Bye.
Bye.